There's no buzz quite like the one surrounding the streetwear scene at present, with some of the biggest names in the industry driving the scene forward with their collaborations. Coupled with a handful of releases and the exponential growth of social media platforms, it's becoming harder than ever to get pairs of high heat trainers on release days. But when did it really start? Who influences the influencers, and how much does social media really contribute to the growth of the industry? We caught up with some of the most respected people in the scene to find out exactly what's behind the rise of the online sneaker culture.
I think for me personally, it started probably around 2009 with the first Yeezy. That's when I started to notice crazy hype around the sneaker scene with like the queues and stuff. So probably around 2009.
I'd say between 7 and 5 years ago, it started to become more of a thing.
I think before it was a hobby for a lot of people, and now it's a business. I've seen a lot of businesses come and go through like sneakers. You've got customizers, people who make like boxes for shoes, and all these little like businesses spawn up like laces and stuff. But really it's like when people started working out, there was good money to be made on shoes. That's when it went bang.
In terms of what's changed, other than Instagram, the amount of shoes, the amount of stuff that is available. I mean, before you would just have like probably one shoe, one trainer, and maybe another trainer to play in. But now, and you'll have to wait for shoes. So it was a special occasion. So if the Air Max 95 was coming out, it'll be like another couple months before the next colorway comes out. Do you get what I mean? It's changed in a positive way, and it's so much more inclusive as an industry. So many more people wear trainers. Before, when I was a kid, it's like you either wear trainers or Dr. Martens, you either a mosher or you do sports. That's merged, and I love that about it. But at the same time, there's been this hype beast culture that's come out of, I don't know, it's not come out of nowhere, but it's like grown instantly, quickly over the past couple of years, to a point where it looks like you're wearing Top Man. You've gone into the store, you've bought the look head to toe from the lookbook. You don't look different to anyone else in that scene, and that's the opposite of what sneakers and streetwear were for me.
Around the time of, Kanye West wearing the Ultra Boost, around that kind of time, especially for Adidas, him wearing the Ultra Boost obviously was introduced as a running shoe. He turned it into a lifestyle shoe. From what I read, the Ultra Boost was never intended to be a lifestyle shoe. Around that time, it was crazy. I mean, you look at what you'd call the Mesh NMD, so it would sell out, all the drops would sell out. Now a Mesh NMD is just everyone just goes past, no one thinks about them anymore.
Pretty hard. The hype's grown. Everyone wants the hype stuff. Obviously, it's pretty difficult. But I think the key thing is just networking on social media, talking to people, making friends, be nice to people. People help you out. The more people you network with and become friends with. I always try and help people out. In return, they help you out. So it's like buying a lottery ticket. I always say this to people: you buy more lottery tickets, you're going to have more of a chance of winning. Be nice to people, get them to help you out, help them out, more of a chance of copying.
I think if you really want something, you have to the climate. Let's be honest, we're not living in a generation now where things are just, desirable things are just okay, you can just walk in the next day or 2 days and stuff. It's just the way things are. I see a lot of people online complaining about the youngsters and they're messing up the game and the resellers are messing up the game. But you got to hustle up. You got to work harder. You got to be okay, if I really want this product, what am I going to do to get it? And there's some people that don't mind saying, you know what, I'm going to pay an extra 50 quid, or they send someone to proxy for them, or whatever it may be. It's just the way it is.
So I'd like to say that the communities are starting more so to influence. But as a retailer, I see the figures, I talk to the brand and I see what works, and when they get the right big ambassador, it sells through.
I think, if I'm being really honest, I think the sports stars and the musicians, they are the ones that have the power, and that filters down. Someone will see them because they're a fan, and they'll post that in the groups, and everyone will see that. But definitely, man, if people see a deal posted up on a group, like they can clear out a store. Do you know what I mean? Like they can clear out a store. Like when someone posts like sale links up, stuff can go. So I think, like, yeah, the tastemaker, the influencer does have, obviously, like, they're styling at the end of the day. They're putting them on the feet and showing everyone. But if they didn't have the groups to expand their reach, then it wouldn't be half as, like, busy or crazy as it is now.
For me, I mean, Ronnie at Kith is just the legend, right? I mean, and that's someone as a independent footwear retailer I look up to massively. I mean, he's the king of collabs. Yeah, and I actually quite like Asics, and he's done a lot of work with Asics.
I'm lucky that I can say that influencers are my mates, do you know what I mean? So it feels weird saying it, but I'm generally influenced by my mates because we all like talk about trainers and releases and stuff together. We see each other wearing stuff and it's going to influence you to be like, oh, okay, that looks cool, maybe I can try that. So people like Girl on Kicks, Sani, who's my mate, who's a big sneaker blogger. Yeah, there's loads of girls in Paris, for example. But in terms of people that people are going to like, you know, celebrities or whatever, it's usually guys, to be honest with you. I just love Nico.
You have the OGs, like let's not forget that. You have the people who have come before, and that's what I kind of try to put on my platform, you know. And those are the people that I look upon and I'm like, okay, these are, yeah, what they were wearing back then, like, this is what's up. Do you get what I mean? You know? And then you have, obviously, like the designers, you have the Virgils, the Pharrells, the Kanye West, who I think is the most influential person in the world. I don't care, I'll say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. It's like if you saw the same thing and it wasn't attached to like a big name or a collab, I think most 90% of things would sit. But that's my opinion.
It speaks for itself. Yeezys, Pharrell and MDs, the Virgil Abloh Off-White collection. I mean, they're attached to these guys, and these guys are the people who worked on them and created the concepts and all that kind of stuff, and they sell out like that. So it speaks for itself, really. If anyone who says that it's not, then they're kidding themselves, really.
I think the name is huge. I was thinking like this the other day, like the impact that Yeezy has had on sneakers. I mean, I was just sat on the tube and it's not even an Adidas model, it's like some girl was wearing some Primark shoe, yeah? It was a turtle dove print. And you see that on so many pairs now, the turtle dove print. People queuing out. I think Yeezy definitely combined, his music's really popular, so you have like millions of fans of his music. But then if you add millions of sneakerheads, and then you have the guy who's like got good music and good sneakers, and they both come together, and it just blows up, right? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like names, I'm sad that it is, because I'm always a guy who likes a shoe for a shoe. If it's a comfy shoe, if it looks good, that's what I want, right? But now I think, yeah, definitely names hold such a power over the consumer, over the mindset of people, that as soon as they attach it to something, they're like, look, if Yeezy does this shoe, well, he did that one, it made loads of money off that, right? So there's going to be profit to be made here. So I think that's what people predict and they try and take advantage of. But the brands are clever, man. The brands will like wash pairs out, so there's loads of them, so there's no resale. And then next week they'll do a drop with like 100 pairs and drive everyone crazy for it again, right? So like they're smart, they know what they're doing.
I buy what I buy because I like it, to be honest. I mean, but I do get caught up in the hype. I get caught up in the hype, you know, I'm human, like I love it. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes the hype does get you, and it makes you desire things like you know, let's be honest, like the Yeezy, if Kanye West was not part of that, if he didn't do that shoe, no one would like it. I think the only person I know who likes that shoe is my mum.
So aesthetics first, I don't care about the brand, to be honest. I'm open to all brands. I love footwear, so I don't care what the brand is, as long as I like the look of it, that's what will draw me to it first. Second thing is comfort. I need it to be comfortable. Like, I play a lot of football, I'm on my feet a lot, I need my feet to be comfortable. If a shoe looks amazing but it's uncomfortable, I'm not gonna wear it. Simple as. I've got so many Jordans, I still love Jordans, I still buy them, I can't wear them anymore. But I like to have them in a collection. I just can't wear them. It's runners, I'm into my runners now.
Price, I like cheap things. Do you know what I mean? If I can get a shoe for I got New Balance 991s the other day for like 30 quid. That's a touch, because that's a £160 shoe in the States. Comfort and materials, man. Materials and build quality. Like, I want to see good leather. I want to see no messed up stitching. I want a shoe that's going to last a long time. I'm a massive fan of like veg tan and materials that tell a story after they've been worn. So they'll scratch up, or they're age and patina. But yeah, that's what affects me. Like, materials and comfort are definitely like, and craftsmanship are definitely like the things that I look for when buying a shoe.
I think good friend of mine. I think Vivian's good for that. You know, he'll make anything look dope. Like, when he takes a picture of it, he'll make anything look dope. Like, I always say to him, like, you've made me like that, and I don't even like that shoe. So I think he does a good job of that. Obviously, you've got Ari, who's up and coming as well. He's doing really big things at the moment. Ari Petru, he's doing well as well. Guys like that. Obviously, my good friend Morgan, he's really good. He's another guy who just loves shoes. He's just very passionate about shoes, doesn't care about the hype, knows a lot about shoes, and he just buys what he likes. And I really respect that. People that just buy what they like because they like it, not because it's what's, you know, cool at the moment. But yeah, those three guys, good friends of mine as well.
I think the influences will depend on what they drive by. But I imagine they're looking at the fashion designers and all that kind of stuff, because I think depending on who the influencers are, because influencers is such a weird term these days. An influencer could be someone who's just got 500,000 followers on Instagram and just posts what they do all day, every day. Or an influencer could be someone who's got their own clothing line, and a brand or whoever has spotted that and has decided to seed them shoes. So influencer is such a broad term, it's hard to say who influences those. I mean, I suppose it's the same people who influences everyone else, I guess. It's a tough question, it's a hard one to answer.
Do you know what? It's normally like the most uncoolest guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you straight up, like, it'll be the uncoolest guy who's the nerd, who's got like the knowledge, right? And the influencers will come across that. Like, even Supreme, right? They got a lot of their information from like a good friend of mine, and like a lot of people wouldn't have thought he was the coolest guy. Do you know what I mean? He'd like, but like, he influences Supreme, and then you got all these kids that are wearing Supreme and don't even know about these guys who are doing it, right? And I always find that quite funny. But definitely like musicians, like artists, like rap artists and stuff like that, they influence it a lot.
It's become a place where now you can see so many different things, from outfits to clothing to footwear, and it's all instant. Like, oh, that's coming out, oh, they post it on the gram. That's, you know, it's become like the news driving force, really, for everything, not just sneakers. So it's changed culture in a massive way.
Hugely influential on sneakers. I think it's probably the biggest change that's happened to footwear and the consumerism in like forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's given stuff such a short lifetime, right? Like, now you post your picture, you get your hype, next week it's gone, right? Like, next week is a new thing. And I think brands, that's a problem that brands are having, right? Like, because it doesn't work very well with shoes. Like, it works well with clothing to some extent, but shoes take a long time to develop, and they're expected to have like a longer life on the shelves. So all this like quick buy, quick turnaround, if it's not hype in like the first, and it doesn't sell out in the first few days, then it's probably just going to end up sitting on that shelf for a long, long time.
I think it's driving the culture a lot, because, you know, like I say, I think it's more with the younger generation coming through. They see all this, you know, they see all the Off-White and they see all the Yeezys, and I think they want to be part of that. And I think a lot of it is, you know, cop for the gram. So they see this and they want to feel part of this, and they want to attain that item that everyone has and is cool, and they want to be part of that, and they want to get a picture on the gram. And I mean, it's quite deep rooted. You can get quite deep with this, but I think a lot of it is seeking a bit of validation from peers and these other guys that have these things.
It's basically in the last 5 years, you know, it's taken over and it's changed the way brands market themselves. It's changed the power of the individual, because before, you know, you could only market yourself through the natural channels. Was that's going to be TV, it's going to be billboards, it's going to be radio. Now suddenly individuals can market themselves and products. So in a way, it's been empowering for the man on the street or the girl on the street.
Instagram was huge for like the collab-based model. So stores would tease images of a shoe they'd be doing with a brand, and if you were a fan of the store and if you were a fan of the brand coming together, that was like a pair you wanted to get. And they always used to be the ones you camped for and stuff like that. But now there's so much of it and people are bombarded by the information all the time. It takes a really special collaboration to actually sell out.
So it's hard to say where it would be without them. There'd obviously still be a community, but I don't think you'd get people queuing up outside the shops and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you hear stories of, let's say, the OG sneakerheads, of guys who used to fly to New York just to get a pair of shoes, and guys who are now in probably late 30s, 40s. And you hear guys talk about how they could just go into whatever shop it might be and pick up a pair of Jordans like that. So maybe the scene would still be like that. I don't know. It's a hard one to call, but I think influencers and social media has amplified it tenfold.
It's great in so many levels for brands to be making money out of, but as someone who cares about it, is interested by it, it puts you off.
You know, I mean, the footwear culture, what people have to give credit for footwear culture, because it drives a lot of different things. Like, I wear my clothes from my trainers up, you know, and it is like that. I mean, I'm kind of like a hoarder. Like, I've sold so much of my trainers, but I've got quite a bit. And it's kind of that thing of sometimes it gets into possessions, like you have to have it. Technically, I don't need to buy another trainer for the rest of my life. Like, I'm honest with you, I've got that many pairs. But it's like, you get to that kind of stage and you're like, I gotta have those.
Do you know what? There's mad stories about stunting, like crazy stuff. Like, I'm talking people buying a shoe in the store, taking a photo of it in the store, taking it back the next day or there and then just to get that photo, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what kids are doing. Kids are buying a pair, wearing it, cleaning the bottoms and selling them as brand new. So always got to be careful looking about it. But it's really like leaky. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, I've definitely stunted in the past. Like, I definitely know I have.
Massive part. Like we said in the last question, it's yeah, people see these things and they think, oh yeah, I like that. I want to have it as well. I need to have that, and you know, posting on Instagram with the fit pics and getting followers and likes. I think it plays a massive part in it. Maybe not in a good way, but yeah, it is what it is.